Hello, everyone. It's 2 o'clock and we are going to start this webinar. I want to check that everybody can hear me well.
Yes, we can.
So thank you so much for registering and being here for this webinar. We are with our amazing sisters, Erica and Evonne from AfroThreads. I'm going to read this because I don't want to mess anything up. So our speakers, owners of AfroThread, as I mentioned, they created this company, textile company, in order to preserve traditional African textile art, promote creativity, and increase Black ownership within the textile and fashion industry. They also aim to spread awareness about the textile waste and cultural exploitation. That's amazing, the job that you do. I has been impressed and I'm excited to have you here. For our participants, you will have opportunity to ask questions. So you can put them in the chat and I will be monitoring the chat so we can have a conversation during this webinar. So that's it for me. I will leave you with these amazing presenters. Thank you so much to be here.
Thank you, Hetzel. We really appreciate you and South Brunswick Public Library. What you're doing over there is amazing. We love how you are basically taking us on a journey around the world. I mean, your spring boxes, you're incorporating books and pieces of art from different countries. Genius. I mean, I think every library should be doing something like this. I love it. It really opens your mind and gives you something tangible, which is basically what our business is all about. It's about learning about different parts of Africa, learning about the different art and crafts that are made there, and then most importantly, getting your hands on something tangible from these places. So thank you so much. We really, truly appreciate you.
Yes, and thank you to everyone who's joined us here today. Thank you for spending your Sunday with us, and we're excited to get into this.
Yeah, so we'll start, as she mentioned, I'm Evonne.
I'm Erica.
And we grew up here in the States with Ghanaian parents. And if we think about some of our early memories with these fabrics, for me, I can remember just how careful my parents were with their African fabrics. They were kept in a special closet. They pulled out only the good ones for like certain functions. Just the care around them, like how they preserved it, how they even folded it, is what really comes to mind. What about you, sis?
Yeah, I definitely think of the vivid colors, just going to these, family gatherings and functions and seeing just the bright colors and all the style, people expressing themselves, men, women, everybody, as well as, sometimes it would be the same fabric, but just shown and expressed differently. So that really stuck out.
Yeah, and also the really cool thing too is, like, for family functions, as she mentioned, typically the family will all wear something custom made for them with that same design on them to kind of identify who they are. So for example, funerals, we would all wear a certain type of black and white fabric. And the cool thing that I had mentioned is that even when we were younger, like middle school and elementary school, and we had to wear like traditional wear for a function, we didn't really have much say on the fabric that was made for us or the design, but they were always amazing. They were so beautiful, really modern. I can think back to a certain function where I had like fabric coming up around my neck, like a halter, and I was just like, I didn't even choose this, but it happened. So we've had really positive experiences with the fabrics. And then as we got older and we could really choose the fabrics for ourselves, we started going to Ghana more. Erica studied abroad there.
Yeah. And during that time, as we grew and we got more freedom, more creative freedom, we were able to engage in that process in designing for ourselves, designing for our friends and family. And that was pretty much how AfroThreads grew.
Definitely, because especially as we started to really get our hands on the fabric ourselves, we started to learn more about their origin. And we came to learn that a lot of them are imported from Asia. They're not even made in Africa. And we were like, hold on, that doesn't sit right with us. You know, we want to support people in the country who are still keeping the traditional techniques alive. We want to make sure that our money is going to our people. So a lot of that is what prompted us to really start this company, making sure that the money is going directly to African brands and artisans on the continent. People are learning about the textile industry. We have a lot of material on our site because, you know, this is deep stuff. It's deep stuff. It can get confusing. Context is so important. There's different cultures, different tribes, you know, there's a lot. So our goal is to both educate ourselves and then educate you all in the process. So thank you. So with that being said, we want to get a little feel for who's in the audience and how much you all know about what we'll be talking about today. So put a one in the chat if you've been to Africa. If you've ever been to Africa, let us know. We want to hear and see who's been on the ground there. Put a one in the chat. Let us know. Also, if you own anything from Africa, any type of African art, it can be fabric, it can be wall art, it can be anything. If you own any type of craft from Africa, let us know in the chat. I know it's more than just a few over there that have some African roots. All right, so what we're going to be talking about today are 4 popular types of fabrics. Okay, we have some kente cloth. Ooh, daughter-in-law, yes, kente cloth is a big gift. And then batik. All right, cool, awesome. Also, we'll be talking about batik. So as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about 4 popular types of fabrics that you'll find in Ghana. The first type is woven. So when you think of woven, I want you to think of handmade, hand loomed. Think of someone with a loom using both their hands and their feet, packing multiple types of threads together. So think of like a heavier material. The second type?
We are talking about adinkra fabrics, and we'll be getting into what adinkra is
and how they show up in different types of materials as well. And then the third one is batik, and that is, as someone mentioned, they own some from Ghana. That is a hand-stamped process, and we'll talk about the details of that as well.
And lastly, we'll be getting into wax prints, also known as Ankara, and how these factory-made prints show up in all kinds of ways in fashion.
Exactly. So, all right, so let's start with woven. So as we mentioned, woven, we're talking about a loom, we're talking about handmade, we're talking about threads. And woven fabrics are actually made in different parts of Ghana. So in the southeastern region where the Volta region is located, we have kente cloth that is woven in that part of the country. Then we also have Ashanti kente cloth, which is woven in the Ashanti region. That's more central part of Ghana. And then we have Smock Fabric, which is woven in the northern part of Ghana. So woven fabrics are very common to the country, and they're revered. They're, really sought after. They're taken care of very well because they're very expensive to make. And we just want to emphasize how important these woven fabrics are to the country, to the point that we even have festivals that are celebrating this type of material. So we want to start this off by showing you all a video of a recent trip that we made last month to the northern part of Ghana, where we got to see and get our hands on the fabric there and just really appreciate the culture up there. So we're going to be showing you a video. We're going to share our screen, so you guys can get a look. And so the northern part of Ghana, I loved it. It was really, really chill. You'll see in the opening, a lot of people on motorbikes, not as many cars.
start.
Beautiful.
Hey, you guys are muted.
All right. Sorry, y'all. So
Thank you.
wait, can you hear us? You can hear us now, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. So sorry about that. So we were just explaining about the video. As we mentioned before, Northern Ghana, really enjoyable place. A lot of opportunity to support and develop the area as well. So that's always something to keep in mind. But definitely what we were basically talking about was the art that really comes from this part of the country, and how the woven technique can be used for everything from clothing to woven art, as you saw it displayed in that museum, to also so woven art, as you saw displayed in the museum, clothing, as we've seen here, and then furniture. So you saw the lawn chair. I was saying that I need to find a way to bring that over to the States and other parts of the world, because it was just so gorgeous. That was woven with nylon threads. So the versatility of this type of craft is basically what I was explaining when I was muted, unfortunately, for that few minutes. And then I wanted to pause here to just also really emphasize that these fabrics, the making of these fabrics, support livelihoods. It's mostly women that make this fabric, the Smock Fabric, in the northern region of Ghana, as you can see here, decked out in what they've made. And it was really cool to witness sort of the modernization that is happening within this area. And what I mean by that is the organization of these women into societies, creating community bank accounts so that they can support some of the older women who can no longer weave the fabrics, or some of the women who become disabled and are no longer to work. They're looking to create funds for that. Just digitization of their process so that they can create more opportunities for partnerships with different businesses around the world. It was really awesome to see, how these women are just thinking ahead and thinking about the future and thinking about promoting their materials abroad. And the individual standing in the back, he's actually a representative of a society in the Upper East region of Ghana. And in that part of Ghana, is common for hand-woven baskets, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen maybe at the farmer's market or other places. I know at like one of my local health food stores, they sell really colorful woven baskets from Ghana. And he's basically explaining how, when you're able to create this society, this organization, it really helps to create standards, uniformity, and then just opens up those opportunities for international partnerships. So before we go on, because it's going to mute us again, you'll see coming up a really beautiful woman, how she styled the Smock Fabric using her hair, using it as a head wrap and also as a shirt, a tunic. You'll also see the baskets that I had just mentioned. You'll see some clothing made with this Smock Fabric. You'll see another purse that we actually had made in collaboration with a woman and a mother and daughter woman here in the States. And you'll see other types of art, and we'll pause after we finish the video so that we can answer any questions that you all may have. So if you have any questions during this process, during this time that we finish the video, we have about 2 minutes left, a little under 2 minutes left. Just put them in the chat and we will answer.
Zamin
Thank you.
Yeah, taste and see.
Okay, swag. You got the pain. Okay, swag.
We are ready for a swing.
Whoa!
We are ready for a swing. My own, the time I chase after no money.
All right. So beautiful display of art, music, fashion. I just really had a great time at the festival. And up north, they had this pride and this joy of celebrating their cultural practices and sharing it with all who traveled up north for it.
Yeah, I mean, so you saw a lot. Did anyone notice the weaving? So the weaving that was actually on display, the live weaving on display, was actually kente being woven. And you could tell because it was a thinner strip, which we'll show you in a moment. So it was just a beautiful display of, like my sister said, a variety of different types of arts. So we had kente cloth being woven. We had music being made. So that was actually in collaboration between a local school for the blind and then a radio station based in Accra. And it was beautiful to hear some of the students, who lacked, visual, had visual impairments, hear them talk about the importance of music and see them make music and have those really just to emphasize and show off those senses that were really heightened. It was amazing. There was a community mural being made. It was amazing. If you have the opportunity to go to Ghana, December is a time that a lot of people go for like parties. But if you also want to see cultural festivals, Independence Day weekend is a great time to go, and that's in early March. Ghana's independence is March 6th. And so during that time, there's festivals in different parts of the country. This particular festival in Upper West was amazing. So I want to put that. So any questions? We said that kind of weaving when he was in Ghana. Yeah, so our grandfather did as well. Our grandfather is from Boniray, where Ashanti Kente originates. And so he wove Kente cloth. We have uncles who wove Kente cloth. It's amazing to hear that connection. So if there's no other questions, we're going to get into the show and tell part of the presentation. And we're going to start with Kente, of course, because why not? So maybe some of you may be familiar with Kente cloth in this form, which is in a stole form. So this is one stole typically at graduation ceremonies, you'll see people with kente draped around their neck. It'll have sometimes custom sayings, words, their school, their frat, their year, woven actually into the fabric. And so it's just, that's what you saw earlier. You saw the man weaving the fabric thread by thread, hand and feet, to make just one. Imagine how long it would take to make just one stole.
And then putting them together, which is what is done in order to create full outfits or, you know, bigger pieces, is weaving the weaves together.
Yes, sewing, stitching them together. So here it is stitched together right here. So you can tell that these are two stoles stitched together in the middle. And this, you can use this as a shawl. My sister wore this recently to a wedding last weekend, just draped around her shoulders. So really it's amazing for accessories. So these are both examples of kente from the Ashanti region of Ghana, where our family's from. There's also kente woven in the Volta region of Ghana. And here's an example in a purse form of kente from the Volta region. Different colors. From what I've seen and the different types of kente I've seen from the Volta region, more muted colors, more indigos, not as bright designs. This design is fairly simple, but I've also seen symbols and like animals being woven into kente from the Volta region. So here's an example of kente from that part of the country. And then, so we talked about kente in the stole form. We talked about it put to, you know, two stoles together for your shawl, and then we showed you the purse. Now, if you're trying to make clothing from kente, which is very common for special occasions, weddings, church, other functions, you'll see people wearing whole outfits made with kente. And when we do that, we need to put together, as you can imagine, many stoles. So here is an example of a huge piece. This is folded up. This is folded up. We can, I mean, we're not gonna unfold the whole thing because it's humongous, yeah. But this is at least 30 or 40 strips sewn together. And this huge piece of fabric is actually called a men's piece in Ghana, and that is because men will typically wear this draped around their body. Like, there's a certain method to it. They throw it over their shoulder at the end. And yeah, so this is an example of what a tailor would use when it comes time to making someone's outfit out of kente cloth. And as you can see, perfect segue into our next type of fabric, these are Adinkra symbols that have been stamped onto the fabric. So
yeah, so we'll come back to the Adinkra. Let's talk about the smock.
Yeah, of course. But how could I almost forgot the smock? The reason we went to northern Ghana. So the smock fabric is different because it's woven on a wider loom. So unlike your kente, which is woven on about a 5-inch loom, your smock fabric is woven on a much wider loom. So here's an example of the smock fabric. Typically linear designs. Really intricate linear designs packed really, really tightly. I mean, this fabric is woven really tight. It's just such a unique fabric because it's woven, so it's heavyweight, but it's also lightweight at the same time, and very breathable. So actually, for those of y'all who were with us back in 2020 when we started making masks and you purchased a mask from us, then you own some smock fabric from the northern region of Ghana, because that's what we were using for the inside of our mask. We were using the solid color smock fabric.
Yeah, because of its breathability as well as its durability.
Yes. We have a question. Thank you. Is there a specific reason kente is important to like graduate weddings? Just over time, it has become to be known for special occasions, royalty actually. Kente cloth before was only woven for chiefs in the Ashanti region and people of really high stature. And then over time, more people were able to access the fabric for their special occasions. So it's still a very revered fabric. It's becoming very popular to use to make different things. So when you go to like Bonire, for example, you can buy kente slippers, kente bags, backpacks, jewelry. So the use is definitely widening. There's an amazing company in the States selling kente pillow covers called Odyssey Artisans. Check them out. So yeah, it was definitely used for, it still continues to be used for special ceremonies, but the use is also expanding as well. So yeah, so here's one example of the smock. And then we also have this beautiful designs. Be on the lookout for products made. You can see the intricate linear designs in this as well.
I love that green.
Yeah. So that is your woven fabrics from different parts of the country. We've got the northern region, we've got the Ashanti, and we've got the Volta region.
Okay, and let's get back into our Adinkra symbols. So what is Adinkra? Adinkra is a representation of cultural symbols, and this reflects philosophies, ways of thinking, and of our Ghanaian people. So we'll find them, throughout, on buildings or on fabric. So here is another kente stole with Adinkra symbols stamped throughout. And cultural symbols, you're probably wondering, what does that mean? And we always want to dive deeper on the meaning, right? So I highly recommend checking out this book written by Mr. Adolphe Agbo that goes in depth on what so many of them mean, the English as well as the Akan meaning of it. So highly recommend, and we'll tell you where you can find this at the end of our discussion. All right, so we got the stamped Adinkra
on woven fabric. So the Adinkras appear in so many things we want to add to. I mean, you'll see you'll see furniture and different wood carvings with Adinkra symbols. You'll see jewelry with Adinkra symbols, paintings, logos made with Adinkra symbols. They're one of the most universal African symbols I've seen. They really connect people because so many people can relate to a lot of the themes and the meanings behind them. So I've run into so many different people from different backgrounds with like Adinkra tattoos, and they know where it's from and they can relate.
I actually have a story about that. One time I was at a graduation party and I met 2 other people with the same Adinkra tattoo as me.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
2 other people?
Yeah. So 3 of us we were like, wait, I have that. I have that. And we all connected with the same Adinkra symbol called Inchim, which you can look up in Dr. or Mr. Agbo's book. All right, let's continue going into our ways we find these Adinkra symbols printed. And this here is screen printed, made into a nice button-down shirt, and you can see them throughout.
A nice representation of different types. We've got a comb that represents beauty. Can you see this right here?
Jinyame, which is one of the most prevalent, well-known symbols, and that means accept God.
So many different, just different ways. So I love this shirt. It's one of my favorite shirts. And the business actually where we purchased this fabric before turning it into a shirt, that's actually all she does. It's a mother and daughter owned business, and that's what they specialize in, is stamping Adinkra symbols onto different types of materials. So they'll stamp it onto like different cloth for like tablecloths and jeans, even cotton, stretchier fabrics, knitwear. So it's a really cool business. And I love what they do, how they do the screen printing.
Yeah, so within Adinkra, just showed you the stamp, showed you the screen printed, and now we have the batik method, which is we'll go a little bit more into next time. But here we utilized an Adinkra symbol in the batik method. So just love putting together creatively these different practices, these different colors, and designing it ourselves. Really, just diving into the creativity.
Yep, and you all may recognize the same one she's holding. You may recognize this if you have the book from the South Brunswick Public Library. Such a great idea to make bookmarks. We've also done that before as gifts, making bookmarks out of these fabrics. So, I mean, yeah, this amazing. This Adinkra symbol, we took inspiration from the Adinkra symbol called Akoben. And as you saw on your bookmark, you can go straight to our blog and you can learn about what that symbol means and why we thought it was important to put this on fabric in our own unique way. So there's that. Anybody have any questions about adinkuras before we move on to batik fabric? Feel free to let us know. Here's some more examples of some batik. I'm sorry, before we get into, yeah, we're not gonna get into batik yet. We're gonna wait on that. So let us know. Any questions about adinkura? No? All right, if something comes up, drop it in the chat, we'll get to it. All right, so let's move on to batik fabric. So as my sister just briefly mentioned, batik fabric is another popular type of cloth you'll find in Ghana and in other parts of the world. So a lot of batik fabric, I'm sorry, is made in Indonesia. And it's actually the Dutch who mechanized this process, which we'll talk about in a moment. Can you put a link to your blog in the chat? Absolutely, I will drop that link right after. So the batik fabric involves using a stamp and stamping fabric using melted wax. And this is also called the wax resist method because when you stamp fabric with wax, the wax does not take the dye. So for example, this fabric, you would dye it first, this light blue color. Then you would stamp it using, and they'll use either a sponge stamp or a wooden stamp. So they'll stamp the fabric with the wax on the light blue. So it's been hand dyed light blue. They'll stamp it on there. And then they will dye it dark blue. And then put this fabric in hot water for the wax to come off. And what's left is the parts that you stamped with wax did not take the dark blue color. So that is how you create this fabric. And it just really allows for so much diversity and variation in the fabric and in the designs and the styles. And it's so unique. That's what gave us the opportunity to create, kind of our own version of the Akkoben symbol and create the fabrics that we showed earlier.
And imperfections that we embrace, that comes, that really shows an artist made this, someone made this with their hand. So I just really embrace that.
Absolutely. So we showed you this color, and here's another style. You can create kind of your own handmade stripes. And this fabric, actually, these two fabrics are this fabric's from Ghana. This one's actually from Tanzania. So we love just getting fabrics from different parts. As we mentioned earlier, this batik method is practiced in different parts of Africa and Asia as well. So it's a really amazing fabric.
I wanted to mention how much I appreciate the imperfections, as you mentioned. For me, when I received the fabric, it makes a connection that someone with their hands made this, and I'm receiving this. So it makes it more personal seeing those imperfections. And I just wanted to mention that it was really beautiful to work with the fabric and seeing that imperfections.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for appreciating and noticing that. That's definitely also one of our favorite things about the batik. And we got a question, what kind of fabric works best for stamping and for batik? We found in talking to the artisans that we work with that cotton works best. So that is what all of this fabric is. Cotton really, as a natural fiber, holds the dye the best. Different types of dyes. Chemical dyes are mostly what's used now, but there's also people using natural dyes, plant dyes. We would love to get more into that as time goes on. And so there's different types of dyes, but from what we've learned, cotton, specifically just cotton is best. I know some people that have stamped, do a lot of stamping on satin, on silk, linen. Yeah, I would say those seem to be the best. So your natural fibers seem to really take the dye and the designs the best.
And here's just another piece, made using batik, and it was made into a hat.
Yeah, so this is one of the hats that we actually make. It's called the Tulip Style Hat. It's a really cool, unique twist on your typical bucket hat. And we love the opportunity to show off different African fabrics, different colors. We love making accessories mostly because it's fun really making accessories you can mix and match with your clothing. A lot of the clothing, you know, sometimes you want to reserve it for a special occasion. With accessories, you can wear it more often, and you can just add a touch of print
customizable
to your outfit. I like just kind of a touch sometimes. So so that's Batik.
I also like that I can finally get hats made to fit my head size.
Yeah, that too. Especially when you do a lot of protective styles like braids and stuff. For us, like, you can never really find a hat to fit, you know, your hair. So that's why we really like to focus on that. But actually, can you pass? I just want to drop the woman who actually designed this fabric also lives here in Baltimore. She's also a Ghanaian-American like us. And she studied design. She studied surface design and different types of design in school. And she too was inspired by different Adinkra symbols when she came up with this design. And the meaning is actually confidence. So shout out to Ama for designing this amazing fabric. We love it.
Yeah, she makes all kinds of art, you know, wall art painting. So we'll also drop a link to her Instagram.
Yeah. Question: are your fabrics made in Africa, and who makes them? Yes. So that's very important to us. Making sure that all of our fabrics are sourced directly from African brands and African artisans. So yes, at this time, all of the fabrics that we use and sell are made in either Ghana, Nigeria, or Tanzania. The finished products are also made in either Africa or here by us or some of the people that we collaborate with. We have collaboration with an amazing company from Hawaii, and we have more on the way. So yes, all of the fabrics are authentic to Africa. That when we say authentic, we mean made in Africa. So yes, very, very important to us. Thank you. So that is Batik. And then our final type. All right, so let's go over what we've talked about so far. We've talked about there's 4 main fabrics found in Ghana. We've talked about woven fabrics. Y'all saw some smock fabric. Y'all saw some kente cloth. We talked about Adinkra fabrics and different ways Adinkra show up on different types of fabrics, their meanings, and how you can learn more. And then we just finished talking about batik fabric, which involves stamping, hand dyeing, drawing, a lot of really cool handmade art. And kind of think of it as sort of like a cousin to tie-dye. So, you know, with tie-dye, you're tying different parts of the fabric and dipping it in different colors to create designs. With batik, you're stamping the fabric with wax, which will resist certain colors. And you're also utilizing that really cool technique to come up with a nice final product. And the last type of fabric we're going to talk about is...
Lastly, we're going to be talking about our wax prints, also known as Ankara. And these are factory made and printed, so made by a computer. You know, you'll notice not any imperfections, but these bright, vivid prints, you know, you very commonly seen outfits made lightweight, made out of cotton.
Yes. So this is probably the most popular. When people say African prints, they're typically talking about these types of prints, which are, you know, they can be mass produced because they're made by, you know, in a factory. And as we mentioned earlier, we really also got started with this company because we saw that Asia has, you know, they're good at what they do. They manufacture fabric, you know, that's one of their strengths, that's one of their things. But they're doing a lot of African prints, and you know, we want to make sure our money is going to where these fabric and designs originated. So we're specifically sourcing these wax prints from African brands, meaning there's a factory in Ghana, for example, that are making these prints, and that's who we're working with to get these. But I mean, it's great. They're unique. We love the colors. We love the designs. The texture, I would think of like a flat bed sheet. That's sort of kind of how it feels, very lightweight. They're commonly used for quilting. We have a lot of quilt artists who purchased a yard. We sell these by the yard, so they purchased us a yard to use in their projects. We use these for our accessories as well.
Yeah, speaking of accessories, another item made out of wax print. Cute purse, kind of goes with my outfit.
Yes. So yeah, so these fabrics are definitely used for a lot. They're used for bags. So the cool thing about the wax prints, you can combine them with other types of fabrics, you know, to really increase the weight and make a variety of different things. So we know people use them a lot for purses and things like that. They'll put them together with leather, other types of fabrics. We put them together with corduroy to make different hats and things like that. So yeah, so those are the 4 different types of fabrics that you will find in Ghana. Is it cotton fabric? Yes, it is cotton fabric. All of these are cotton fabrics. And yeah, can you talk about what we're wearing? Oh, of course. Actually, so this is actually, we should ask y'all, what does this look like? So this is lightweight cotton. As you can see, really intricate designs, different colors. It's actually made into a robe that I'm wearing right here.
It's beautiful. It's that last the fabrics you were just showing us last, wasn't it?
Correct.
You got it. You got it. Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's stunning.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So this is the wax print sourced from Woodine, which is a Ghanaian brand made in Ghana. And yeah, this is one of the few clothing items that we have for sale on our website. Right now, the robes are sold out, but keep, pay attention. We've got some more things coming. So, make sure you're on our mailing list so you can see what's coming. But yeah, they're just soft on the skin. They're comfortable. The colors are always vivid and nice, and they look good on honestly everyone. We've had various kinds of people, ages, races wear these robes and love them. So yeah, that's what I have.
And for me, bright colors, patterned. Go ahead and take a guess at what this print is called.
You might want to get a little closer so you can see the texture.
A little closer.
Yeah. It has a lot of texture to it. Hint, hint, folks.
You can see the threads.
Is that kente?
Yes, that's kente. That's kente. Correct. Good job. Good job. Thank you. All right, y'all I feel good. Feel like we're learning.
Yeah, we're learning some good things. Cool. So yeah, so that is an overview of these fabrics that are just so near and dear to our heart, that we love creating with, learning about, sharing what we've learned. You'll see on our site that we recently showed well, it wasn't actually recent at this point now, it's been about 2 years, but we showed an amazing film called the Wax Print Film. And it really breaks down the history of these fabrics. You can visit waxprintfilm.com to get some more details on how to stream that amazing documentary by a woman named Evonne Obinyan, who is based in the UK. She just really blessed us with a lot of behind the scenes on how these fabrics are made. But yeah, our website is pretty much broken down: learn, shop, create, because that is kind of how we approach these materials. As we want to learn, we want to know as much as we can about where they're from, what they mean to the culture, how we can make sure we're respectful with them. We want to get our hands on them and share them with all of you all. So you can shop raw fabrics on our site by the yard, as we mentioned. You can also shop finished products, accessories that we've made, some few clothing, and then some home decor. And then finally, create, get creative with us. We want you all to be able to come up with ways that we can keep these fabrics alive, promote them, give you an opportunity to share them and their story with others. So we have DIY tutorials on our site as well that can show you how to make different things. Wall art, like how we have behind us, just hang the fabric up on the wall. You can make curtains, pillows. There's so much, there's so much to be done. So we invite you all to visit our site and learn, shop, and create with us. We've got a couple more questions. Enter your fabric creators, women-owned groups. Yes. So some of most of the batiks are made by women. This one is a woman-owned group, Claws Handmade. Love her. Such professional fabrics. Most of the fabrics that we buy in the market when we go are made by women. Also, the woman that made this amazing fabric. Sister Julie.
No, this was Amma.
Yeah, but Sister Julie actually created it.
Okay, so yeah, we love to collaborate with other women-owned, businesses and uplift each other. And for Amma, who designed the print, that's the Instagram that I just dropped in the chat.
Yes. And then, and then as I mentioned, the woman who actually made it herself is a woman-owned business. Many of these are women-owned businesses. I think the only men-owned or predominantly male-owned fabrics are the kente cloth, because historically it's been woven by men. But the majority of all the other fabrics, adinka is also typically made by men, sometimes by women as well. But yeah. Any other questions? This is a lot. I'm so glad you guys, sounds like people really kept along, and I hope you all feel like you've learned something new today.
Me again. The first video, I enjoyed it so much.
Really?
Can you repeat the name of the festival that celebrates the woven and also the culture? I enjoyed the music. It was so much music, and the showing of the fabrics. So it was very rich in culture, but I don't remember the name of the festival.
Sure. It's called the Warri Festival, and we'll put it in the chat. WOORI. Warri Festival, and this was actually just its second year, so it's a fairly new festival.
In March. In
March, yes. So Independence Day, Ghana's Independence Day is March 6th. So this year it was a 3-day festival, March 4th, 5th, and 6th. We participated in the second day, which was where most of the events were happening, the live weaving demonstrations, the panels, the music, things like that. But there was a lot going on in the first and the third day as well. So it's a 3-day festival, early March, called the Warri Festival, and it's created by a foundation called the Nubuki Foundation, which is a contemporary art collective, and they have a base in Accra where you can see different types of contemporary art, and then they have the weaving and actually clay center in Upper West Ghana.
Thank you so much. And any tips traveling to Ghana? Like maybe 1 or 2 tips if someone is traveling to Ghana. I think we all here are very excited now. Maybe want to visit. So any tips?
Yeah, definitely go. Definitely go. We just encourage visiting Ghana because of the climate, the things to do there, the rich culture that you've been able to see part of, just part of today. But when you go there, when you're on the ground, and the in our culture, we're just meant to be very welcoming, hospitable, and I know each of you who steps foot there is going to feel that truly as you engage in the art, in the music, in the food, all of it.
The food, any food that is your favorite? Or something that characteristic that Ghanaian people eat almost every day?
Plantain is found throughout,
So many different types of dishes made with plantain. My actual favorite snack is roasted plantain, and they serve it with peanuts, and just the texture combination is just, for me, it's amazing. It's like the first thing I get when I land. So yeah, I would say my tip is make sure to experience some live music. That's what I would recommend. I think the music, we can spend a lot of time talking about Ghanaian music, and I'm actually going to drop an organization that is working to preserve Ghanaian music and share it with the world. But the music to me is amazing. Everything from the music you hear at the club, to the music you hear at church, to the music you hear just walking down the street, blaring out of people's cars. The music is just amazing. So I would recommend getting an opportunity to see some live music, which is really easy to do. Most places are always playing music, actually. Sunday afternoons, you can see live music. Friday nights, you can see live music at different venues and restaurants around Accra. But yeah, explore. The reason it's funny you asked, though, we're actually also putting together a travel guide, or in a sense, that kind of shows you different things that we like to do when we go to Ghana. We like to do a variety of different things. We went on a safari, actually, in northern Ghana when we went during this time. So if you're interested in that, you can check out our Instagram for that, which is Afro Travel Guide. And I'll also drop that in the chat so you can check that out. We have a few videos up now. We'll be incorporating all of that information onto our website. So you can stick around for that. It's a lot to move over, but at the end of the day, the biggest thing is to be open and to not expect, you know, the country to be exactly like what you know or where you're from. It's you're going to a tropical place, you know, it's going to be hot, it's going to be different, and just be open to let your senses enjoy.
Yeah, in addition to being open, I did think of another tip. Try your best to explore beyond Accra, beyond the capital city. It's kind of like, you know, coming to the United States and only going to New York City. You know, that's one amazing place, but do your best to explore, you know, the other regions and feel the other climates and hear the other languages. And, you know, with our guide and blog that we are building, you know, we hope to help guide you on that journey on where to go and what to do.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. I'm very, very excited. I love plantains as a Caribbean person. So I eat that every day. And the plantain with the peanut, it seems like a very interesting mix that I have never tried before. Very excited. Yes. And for the participants, I'm going to share as much as the resources you have been sharing with us today on an email after this event. And as a bonus, we are going to include Ghanaian music, a playlist so you can immerse more in the culture. So we are going to include all those links and some music that you can start exploring. And I hope you enjoy it so much because as they mentioned, music is really important part of the culture as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And your love for plantain reminds me of a company in New York City, which is closer to you, that you can visit and actually taste. What do you think of plantain cookies and plantain dessert? We know a company, we know an amazing company that makes that amazing young woman who is using plantain in so many cool ways. So I'll also send you that information.
Please, that will be amazing for our community. They will be very excited because New York is very close to us.
Exactly, exactly. Yes.
Any comment, questions from our participants here? You can comment what you have learned, what you have enjoyed, what are you interested the most?
I love their enthusiasm. You guys are wonderful. Big smiles and just the information is really useful and fascinating. And the fabrics are so beautiful.
Thank you, Deborah. We appreciate that. That's so sweet.
This was absolutely wonderful. So thank you so much. And I'm going to try to reach out to you personally because I'm a part of a giving circle. It's called Action Africa Giving Circle. It's actually, we're actually founded here in South Brunswick, and we are a group of women, and we pool our money and provide grants to underserved and impoverished women in Africa. We are going into our 3rd year of grant giving, and I would love to pick your brain a little bit.
Awesome, awesome, amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, we look forward to that.
Yeah, and you know, we do mission moments, and maybe there'll be something that we can invite you to speak to us about. So, and everything is on Zoom, so we have women from all over the country. So, yeah, I'm going to reach out to you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Any other comments, questions that you still have about the fabrics, the fabric industry, the culture? Again, you can find just a taste of the fabric in our spring book boxes, along with a Ghanaian author that you will be able to read. So it's going to be a very fun experience.
Those books, I'm going to get those books myself because I looked them up, and they seem so interesting. I was like, wow, So again, shout out to you, Hesarel, for this amazing idea. I mean, really, really cool. I mean, I'm interested. I'll message you because I want to know about the Venezuelan book and the Chinese book also.
Yes, it's so amazing how one can learn about the culture through books. So
Yeah.
really, really good. And you don't have to travel because it's going to be very expensive to travel the world. So through books, you can learn and increase that empathy and understanding for different cultures.
Absolutely. Even one of the Ghanaian books you recommended, I read online that it even has a glossary with like certain terms that are popular in the culture. And so, you know, that just really just hones in on like books are a great way to really like immerse yourself. So
Amazing.
Thank you. Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for this opportunity. It was such a pleasure. It was great to meet you all and share with you all, and look forward to, you know, additional opportunities to do so. So thank you again.
Thank you, everyone. And do you have something for us, Barbara? I noticed you muted yourself.
I unmuted myself. No, I just wanted to say thank you very much, because I kind of yesterday I was trying to put some books on hold, and saw this on the website and said, oh, I want to check this out. So
Nice.
and I'm gathering from you, Evonne and Erica, that you don't feel like when you know, Caucasians like me may want to wear things that are African in nature that we're appropriating, right? That's not.
I mean, there's such a fine line, I think, between appropriation and appreciation. So I think that's why we really are heavy on the education part, because we think it's important for people to know the history of these fabrics, know what it's been through, so that when you use it, you're not appropriating, meaning you're taking advantage of your, you know, historical power and making money and not tying it at all back to where it comes from. To me, that's what I see as appropriation. Just completely blindly just using the fabric, not attributing it to anyone, and, you know, taking advantage of your opportunity to do so and spread it and just act like you own it yourself. Whereas you're appreciating it, you know where it comes from, you can share the history of it and the significance of it with your communities, and you can feel comfortable wearing it, because we believe that everybody should feel comfortable buying and using it, and most importantly, treating it with respect, and supporting the communities that made this possible and made this amazing art possible. So yeah, no, I'm all for people of different backgrounds indulging in this beautiful art. I think it's really important.
And I think it's really important that the fabric is made in Africa, and is supporting people there, right? So that was a piece that was, you know, on my radar here.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Any final comments? We are about to end this amazing webinar. Someone else wants to comment something?
Yes. We encourage you to continue learning, shopping, creating with us. And you can visit our website at shopafrothreads.com. We're also available on all social media platforms, and that's at shopafrothreads.
And again, the library is going to share all these amazing resources, so you can just on your own time explore more and learn more. That is what we want to share, knowledge. So thank you so much, you, Evonne and Erica, for being available for me when I asked. So I thank you so much. And everyone here, I appreciate the willingness to learn. I think that's so important. So I appreciate you so much as well.
Same. Thank you so much. You're amazing. And we appreciate your creativity and your initiative in doing this. And we definitely look forward to keeping in touch. Thank you for reaching out. Your email was so sweet when you first reached out. So I was like, oh my gosh. So
thank you.
Yeah, it was meant to happen. It was meant to happen. So I look forward to meeting eventually in person and, you know, learning and definitely visiting Puerto Rico. You already know.
Lots of fun things there as well. Well, thank you, everyone. That's it for today, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Enjoy.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.